St. Petersburg, December 1916. The Russian Empire is collapsing under the weight of war, famine, and revolution. But tonight, in a palace lit by chandeliers, 5 men are preparing something that has nothing to do with politics or armies. They are setting a table with fine wine, cakes, and gramophone music. The guest of honor is expected soon, but he isn't a friend, he isn't even a guest. He is their target. His name is Grigori Rasputin, and by morning they hope he'll be dead. To understand why Russia's elite wanted him gone, we need to step back to where his story began. Rasputin was born in 1869 in a remote Siberian village. His childhood was hard, illiterate, poor, destined to live and die unknown. But in his late 20s, something inside him shifted. He left his family and wandered across Russia as a pilgrim. Villagers whispered about his piercing stare, his strange charisma. Some claimed he could heal the sick, others that he was a fraud. But one thing was clear, people couldn't look away from him. By 1905, word of this wandering, holy man had reached St. Petersburg. Russia's royal family, the Romanovs, were desperate. The heir to the throne, young Alexei, suffered from hemophilia, a condition that left him constantly on the brink of death. Doctors failed, medicine failed, but when Rasputin prayed by the boy's bedside, the bleeding stopped. Coincidence or miracle, it didn't matter. To Empress Alexandra, Rasputin was heaven sent. Soon, Rasputin wasn't just a healer, he was a trusted advisor, a confidant, a man with the ear of the Tsarina herself. But Rasputin wasn't the saint Alexandra believed him to be. Behind closed doors, he was infamous for his drinking, his womanizing, and his wild parties. Police reports described nights filled with alcohol, prostitutes, and brawls. Rumors spread that he seduced noble women, that he held orgies disguised as prayer meetings, and that he boasted about his power over the Tsarina. Cartoons and underground newspapers even portrayed him in bed with the Empress. That's when Prince Felix Yusupov stepped forward. He was rich, glamorous, married to the Tsar's niece, and determined to rid Russia of Rasputin. Together with Vladimir Purishkevich, a fiery politician, and Grand Duke Dmitry Pavlovich, a member of the royal family, Yusupov plotted the murder. Their plan was simple: invite Rasputin to Yusupov's palace under the pretense of meeting his beautiful wife, Irina. Once there, he'd be poisoned, quick, quiet, untraceable. The night of December 29th. That night, Rasputin arrived at the palace in high spirits. He was led downstairs to a candlelit room filled with pastries and sweet wine. Unknown to him, everything was laced with cyanide. Yusupov poured him a glass. Rasputin drank. He ate the cakes, and then nothing. Minutes passed, then hours. Rasputin laughed, told stories, even sang along with the gramophone. Upstairs, the conspirators grew restless. Yusupov panicked. If poison couldn't kill him, something else would. Bullets. In the night, Yusupov returned to the basement with a revolver. He raised it, aimed at Rasputin's chest, and fired. The mystic collapsed. His body lay still, relieved. Yusupov went upstairs to tell the others that it was done. But when he came back to check, Rasputin's eyes were open. He rose to his feet, blood pouring from his chest, and lunged forward. Staggering, he pushed past Yusupov and into the snowy courtyard. Purishkevich grabbed a pistol and chased after him. He fired shot after shot into the dark until Rasputin finally fell face first into the snow. The final disposal. The men wrapped his body in a heavy curtain, tied it up, and loaded it into a car. They drove to a bridge, broke a hole in the ice, and dumped the body into the freezing Neva River. By dawn, they believed the nightmare was over. The discovery. 2 days later, Rasputin's corpse was pulled from the river. His head was battered, his body riddled with bullets. Some even claimed water was found in his lungs, suggesting he was still breathing when thrown into the river. Whether myth or truth, the story spread like wildfire. Rasputin was unkillable. Aftermath. The conspirators were never severely punished. The Tsar feared prosecuting them would spark even more unrest, but just months later, the monarchy itself collapsed in the Russian Revolution. As for Yusupov, he fled into exile, living out his days in Paris, where he often retold the story of the night he killed the mad monk. Closing. Rasputin's death remains one of the most infamous assassinations in history, not just for the brutality of it, but for the legend it created. A man who rose from a Siberian village to the royal palace, a mystic, a drunk, a prophet, a fraud, depending on who you asked, and a man who, even in death, refused to go quietly, because when the bullets, the poison, and the icy waters couldn't finish him off immediately, his myth became immortal.